Hello everyone, my name is Lucky, a mathematics enthusiast, giving you a special welcome to Prince Maths Clinic. It's nice to have you in class today.
Yeah, we have a very beautiful question in continuation with finding the root of cubic equations. Now, if you could remember in the last class, we arrived at the root of the cubic equation that if the roots are alpha, beta, and gamma, we said that then alpha plus beta plus gamma equals to negative b over a. And we also arrived at alpha beta plus beta gamma plus alpha gamma. We arrived at this as well to be c over a, right? And we also arrived at alpha multiplied by beta multiplied by gamma to be negative d over a. Now we are going to be using these formulas in obtaining the other roots in this equation. Cube minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now we are given that one of the roots is 1 and we want to find the other root. Then let us say let alpha and beta be the other roots. Therefore, it then means that our gamma will be 1. Remember, we are looking for the other roots. Because it's a cubic equation, we are expecting 3 roots. 3 roots is what we are expecting. Now, we know that one of the roots is 1 from the question. To find the other 3 roots, we want to make alpha and beta be the other 2 roots. So, going from the first equation, that if you add, then let's go from here. Our a in this equation, a is 1. Our b is negative 6. Our c is positive 11. And our d is negative 6. Now, from what we know, that alpha plus beta plus gamma equals to negative b over a. Now, here we have alpha, beta, and gamma. So let us go alpha plus beta plus gamma. Negative b over a. Negative b. Negative times negative turns to positive over a. A is 1. So 6 over 1 is still 6. So I will leave it like this. So therefore, I will call, and my gamma is what? Is 1. So I'll replace it with 1. Therefore, it then means that my alpha plus beta is equals to, if 1 crosses to this side, plus changes to negative, it turns to 5. So it means that my alpha plus beta is equals to 5. Let's call this equation 1. Then, what do we do from here? We also know that our alpha times beta plus alpha times gamma plus beta times gamma is c over a. What's our c? 11. A is 1. So 11 over 1 is still 11. So let us put in the value for gamma in this equation. So what do we have? We have alpha beta plus alpha gamma. Since gamma is 1, it becomes alpha times 1, which is alpha. Then since gamma is 1, beta times 1 turns to beta, equal to 11. So, what do we have? We're having a case of what? Alpha, beta, plus, what is alpha plus beta? From equation 1, our alpha plus beta is 5. So I'm going to put 5 in place of alpha plus beta. So you are free to put it in a bracket like so that you can easily understand. Equal to 11. So therefore, our alpha beta will now be what? If 5 crosses to this part, 11 minus 5 becomes what? 6. So we are going to call this equation 2. So our job now is to solve equation 1 and 2 simultaneously. With simultaneous equation, you can also obtain the values of alpha and beta. But I'm not going to use the simultaneous equation. I'm going to use a very special way to solve this question. Now, let's proceed. We know that our alpha plus beta equals to 5. And we know that our alpha beta is 6. Equation 2. But we also know that alpha minus beta square. Let me expand it. Why am I doing alpha minus beta square? I have alpha plus beta. So I want to generate another equation such that by the time I look for the square root of alpha minus beta squared, when I look for the square root, it's going to be alpha minus beta, so that I can easily solve that with equation 1 simultaneously and just get my the value for alpha and beta. So if you expand alpha minus beta, you are going to get alpha squared minus 2 alpha beta plus beta squared. Then if you now bring alpha squared plus beta squared, it is the same thing as alpha plus beta squared minus 2 alpha beta. That is, if you bring this alpha squared plus beta squared, the symmetric formula for solving this says that we should what? Put alpha and beta in a square minus 2 alpha beta. Then remember, originally it starts what? Negative 2 alpha beta. So I'll put that 2 alpha beta. So it then means that at the end, you are going to have alpha plus beta squared minus 4 alpha beta. What is alpha plus beta? Is 5. Then remember, it is squared minus 4 alpha beta. What is alpha beta? Is 6. So this means 5 times 5, which is 25. 25 minus 24 is what? Is 1. Mind you, we remember where we started from. We started from this particular point. Therefore, if I take the square root of alpha minus beta squared, right? If I take the square root, right, which is the square root of 1, I am going to get 1. So therefore, that means that my alpha minus beta is equals to 1. That's what it means, because the square will cancel the square root. So alpha minus beta will be equal to 1. So let's call this equation 3. So if I now solve alpha plus beta simultaneously with it, let's see what I am going to obtain. So if I add up both equations, if I add equation 1 and equation 2, if I add them up, what am I going to get? I'm going to get 2 alpha, this minus beta plus beta, this means 0. Then 1 plus 5 give me 6. Therefore, our alpha will be 6 divided by 2. And 2 cancel 2 here. 6 divided by 2 gives us what? 3. Then, if I substitute 3 for alpha in equation 1, I will get my beta to be 5 minus 3, which is what? 2. So, that is the solution to the first question. Very straight and forward. Now, you can solve it using simultaneous equation directly by making either beta or alpha the subject here and moving either this or this to the other side and substituting it back into this particular equation. That will lead you to a quadratic equation. So you are going to get 2 values for either alpha or beta. But at the next, if you get for alpha first 2 values, it means that you are going to substitute it into the second equation and also get 2 values as well, right? But trust me, those values will interchange themselves. Good. So now, let's look at the second question, number 2 question. Now, the question says, one of the root of the cubic equation, x cubed minus 9x squared plus 26x minus 24 is equal to 0. So the first thing I would like to do is to extract my a, b, c, and d. My a is 1, my b is negative 9, my c is 26, and my d is negative 24. Right? Good. So I know that the question says that if one of the roots is 3 and one of the other 2 roots is twice the other root, right? We should find the other 2 roots. So I'm going to say let the root be, the first root is 3. Now, if the other root is alpha or beta, let us choose alpha. Then they said the other root is twice, right? So twice alpha. So this is my alpha, beta, and gamma. Are you with me? Good. So remember, alpha plus beta, this is my beta, plus gamma equals to negative b over a. Minus times minus gives us what? Plus. So this, adding up, this will be 1 alpha plus 2 alpha gives us what? 3 alpha. Plus 3 crosses to this other side becomes negative 3. So that becomes what? 6. So if I divide this by 3 and divide this by 3, 3 will cancel 3. 3 can go in 6 twice. Therefore, our alpha is 2. Hence, 2 alpha will be 2 times 2, which is what? 4. So, therefore, the other roots are 2 and 4. Remember, the first root is 3. Then they said one of the other two roots is twice the other. So 4 is twice 2. So that makes what we have done to be very correct. Now you can also use the other equation to obtain any of the other equation to obtain the same result as well. So you can try it out and post your results in the comment section. Bye for now.